Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. What happens when two of China's biggest superstars leave the flashing cameras behind and simply become loving sons for one unforgettable evening? Not on stage, not in the spotlight, but at a candlelit table with the two women who shaped their worlds. This wasn't just dinner. This was a moment that melted the internet and may just change how you see Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan forever. It was an evening that began like any other at one of Beijing's most discreet and prestigious restaurants, a place that has long been a haven for dignitaries, artists, and celebrities seeking refuge from the public gaze. Known for its intimate ambience and strict no-photography policy, few would have expected that this quiet setting would become the backdrop for a moment that would ripple across global social media. But that is exactly what happened when two of China's most revered entertainers, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, were unexpectedly spotted dining with their mothers. There were no flashing lights, no entourage, no sense of performance. Just two young men, dressed simply but elegantly, stepping into the room with their mothers, not as stars but as sons. Those who were present described a distinct shift in atmosphere the moment they entered. A warmth, a calmness, as if something deeply meaningful was about to unfold. They weren't there to be seen. They were there to be present. Wang Yibo, typically reserved and composed in public, was seen gently guiding his mother to her seat, adjusting her coat, and checking in on her comfort throughout the evening. Xiao Zhan, often praised for his sincerity, leaned close to his mother in quiet conversation, sharing soft laughter over a shared dish. The tenderness was unmistakable. This was not a publicity stunt. It was a deeply human moment, unscripted, unfiltered, and unguarded. And perhaps that's why it captured so many hearts around the world. In a single dinner, these two global icons reminded us all that behind every achievement, every accolade, lies the quiet strength of family. And in a world too often driven by spectacle, it was the simplicity of their love that spoke the loudest. In an industry often defined by scripted appearances and carefully curated images, the quiet dinner shared by Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan with their mothers felt like a powerful disruption. It wasn't simply about two stars being seen in public. It was about what they were seen doing and, more importantly, how. In that unguarded moment, they stripped away the spotlight and stood not as celebrities, but as sons. It's a rare kind of vulnerability, especially in the world of fame, where privacy is both precious and fiercely protected. What made this encounter so meaningful wasn't just the tenderness between mother and child. It was the universal message it carried. No matter how far they've risen, no matter the applause or criticism they've faced, at their core, these men remain deeply rooted in the bonds that shaped them. For fans watching from across the globe, it was more than a touching scene. It was a reminder of the values that endure across cultures: gratitude, humility, and love. In today's fast-moving, image-driven world, people are hungry for something real. And this moment delivered that in the most unexpected way. There was no performance, no promotional tie-in, no camera-ready speech. Just heartfelt connection. For audiences in countries as diverse as South Korea, the United States, Japan, or France, this moment transcended language. It resonated because it reflected something we all recognize: the quiet beauty of family. Perhaps this is why it struck such a chord. It reminded us that beneath the fame, the expectations, and the pressure, celebrities are human beings longing for peace, comfort, and the familiar embrace of home. And in seeing them in this light, fans weren't just drawn closer to Yibo and Xiao Zhan. They were reminded of what truly matters in their own lives. At first glance, it may have appeared to be nothing more than a quiet meal shared between sons and their mothers. But for those who truly observed, this dinner carried a resonance far greater than the setting, the food, or even the fame of the individuals present. It was a moment filled with silent significance, one that hinted at personal chapters unfolding just beyond the public eye. The choice of restaurant, known for its exclusivity and discretion, was not merely a matter of luxury. It was a deliberate act, an intimate space chosen not to impress, but to honor. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, two of China's most prominent figures, did not gather that evening for spectacle. They gathered to celebrate something quietly profound. Though no official statement was made, the way they interacted, the care in their gestures, the joy that lit up their expressions, suggested this was not an ordinary dinner. It may have marked a milestone, perhaps the end of a long journey or the beginning of something new. Either way, the emotions were unmistakably genuine. For fans who followed their careers through highs and hardships, this dinner became a window into their inner worlds. It revealed maturity, grounding, and a sense of clarity that can only come from deep reflection and personal growth. In a culture where success is often equated with distance, seeing two stars return to their roots, sharing a meal with the women who raised them was deeply moving. Moments like these remind us that the most meaningful celebrations aren't always loud. Sometimes, they're found in quiet toasts, shared smiles, and conversations that don't need to be overheard to be understood. In that warm corner of a restaurant, beneath soft lights and hushed voices, something sacred unfolded, and it touched millions. While viral images of Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan quietly dining with their mothers have swept across social media, there are subtleties, quiet, easily overlooked details that escape the rush of online attention. And it is within these understated moments that the true beauty of the evening truly reveals itself. Beyond the polished smiles captured on camera, there were the unspoken gestures, the fleeting glances, the kind of quiet attentiveness that only comes from genuine care. These weren't men performing affection. These were sons being present in the most wholehearted way. Witnesses close to their table later shared what the cameras didn't catch. The way Yibo reached for his mother's hand just before the food arrived, holding it for a moment longer than necessary, as if to silently say, "We're here, together." Or the way Xiao Zhan stood to pull out his mother's chair, his posture formal, not for show, but out of deep respect, a rare, graceful courtesy often forgotten in modern life. These were not grand gestures meant for the spotlight. They were quiet rituals, steeped in meaning, revealing a kind of emotional intelligence shaped by upbringing and gratitude. There was laughter too, not the performative kind, but the sort that bubbles up when old memories resurface. At one point, it said Xiao Zhan's mother leaned in to wipe something from his cheek, and he didn't flinch or resist. He smiled, because in that moment he wasn't a superstar. He was just her son. These glimpses, invisible to the wider internet, hold more emotional weight than any viral image ever could. They speak to the quiet dignity of family life, the way love shows itself in details often too ordinary to trend, but powerful enough to last in the memory of anyone who witnessed them. In a world increasingly dominated by fleeting digital trends and superficial celebrity moments, it is rare for something so simple, a quiet dinner between two famous sons and their mothers, to move hearts across continents. Yet, this particular evening with Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan has done exactly that. It wasn't the luxury of the restaurant or the fame of the individuals that captivated millions. It was the emotion, the unspoken tenderness, the familiar warmth, the universal truth of love between a parent and child that quietly echoed around the world. Whether you're watching from South Korea, the United States, Japan, France, or Indonesia, there's something deeply human about witnessing two men, adored by millions, returning to the roles they've known since birth. In these quiet, unrehearsed moments, cultural boundaries dissolve. We're no longer looking at celebrities, we're seeing sons. We're reminded of dinners with our own families, moments when words weren't necessary, and presence alone was a form of love. What resonates so powerfully is the contrast. These are men constantly under public scrutiny, carefully styled and managed in every appearance. And yet, for one evening, they chose to show something entirely unguarded: affection, humility, and emotional honesty. It is this rare authenticity that speaks louder than any film premiere or media statement ever could. Across languages and generations, audiences have felt something familiar. In a mother's touch, in a son's attentive smile, we see reflections of our own lives, our own hopes, regrets, memories. This moment matters not because it was grand, but because it was real. And in today's hyper-curated world, that reality is more precious than ever. It reminds us that, no matter how far someone travels or how high they rise, the bond between family remains one of the few things that still makes us all feel the same. What began as a quiet evening in an exclusive Beijing restaurant has since rippled far beyond its four walls. The intimate dinner shared by Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan with their mothers has stirred something deeply personal in audiences around the world. It wasn't just a moment for fans to marvel at celebrity lives. It became a mirror, reflecting values many feared had been lost in modern life. Love, gratitude, humility. These sentiments, shown so effortlessly in those candid images, have awakened emotions across generations and cultures. In the days following the photograph's release, conversations began to shift. On social media, fans didn't just praise their favorite stars, they began sharing their own stories. Young professionals spoke of missing home, of mothers they hadn't called in too long. Older viewers recalled meals with parents now gone, or children grown and distant. Something so seemingly ordinary had sparked extraordinary emotion. Teachers have brought the story into classrooms to talk about filial piety. Mental health advocates have pointed to the importance of emotional connection in a high-pressure world. In France, Thailand, South Korea, Canada, and beyond, people are asking deeper questions. Not about celebrity gossip, but about their own lives. Are we spending enough time with our loved ones? Are we honoring the people who raised us? Are we allowing space for sincerity in our relationships? This is the true legacy of that evening. Not just headlines, but heartlines. In a time when cynicism often outshouts kindness, this dinner reminded the world that tenderness still matters. It reminded us that behind every public face lies a private life shaped by love, and that even in the most unexpected places, a small act of care can create ripples that quietly, powerfully, change the way we see each other and ourselves. So next time you see Wang Yibo on a motorbike or Xiao Zhan on a red carpet, remember this moment, not the fame, not the flash, but the quiet strength of two men who paused the world to make their mothers feel like queens. If this story moved you even just a little, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next inspiring story behind the headlines. Speech balloon, leave a comment. What would you say to your mother today if you had one more dinner together? Glowing star, thank you for watching and for supporting honest, heartfelt storytelling. Until next time, remember, kindness and connection always matter.